we'll begin sitting today. This is a prenatal practice. Please make sure that you've cleared with your doctor before you start this practice. Some things to keep in mind today. Focus on the breath. Usually is in and out through the nose, but in prenatal yoga, if you feel heated at all, you can breathe in and out through your mouth. And taking the hands together in front of your heart. Let's begin to settle in. If you'd like, I invite you to set an intention for your practice this day, whatever part of the day it is. Keep in mind throughout the practice as well that there is hormones that are being released in your body. One is called relaxin. It helps to get the muscles and ligaments ready for delivery. So one of the effects that it has is to soften those ligaments and tendons and muscles so that you might find that you have more flexibility in your body than usual. So keeping in mind, we just don't want to overdo. So I'm going to inhale. As you exhale, just take a little turn to your right side. A nice long breath in. And every time you exhale, just roll your left shoulder open. So inhale to lengthen and back to center. We'll go to the left side. Inhale, lengthen up, exhale, roll your left shoulder open to twist. Again, every time you inhale, sit up nice and tall, and every time you exhale, take the twist just maybe a little deeper. Back to center. From here, we'll shift the cross of the legs and inhale, the arms reach. Clasp your hands and then face your palms up. As you exhale, lean off to the right side. And inhale, take a nice long breath in. And exhale, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale to center. And exhale over to the left side. So keeping the ears and the arms in line, keep stretching and lengthening, creating space in the torso and your spine. Inhale back through center. Exhale, release the arms. And we'll take the legs out wide for Upavistha Konasana. So inhale, sitting up nice and tall again. Point your toes back, your toes and knees point right up to the sky. Now take the right arm in between your legs. Inhale to lengthen again. Exhale and turn, rolling your left shoulder open. And inhale to lengthen again and back to center. Lengthen on the inhale. Exhale and roll the right shoulder open. Widening the collarbones. Draw the shoulder blades down away from the ears and in toward the front body. As again, you create some space in the torso. And inhale here and exhale. Walk yourself forward any amount, and it never matters how deep you get into a pose. And as I mentioned earlier, it's better to keep maybe just a little less stretch in your poses, just in case we don't want to overstretch. Length through the spine, leading with the heart. We hinge from the hips as we come forward to get as much length as possible through the spine. And then we'll come back up on your inhale and taking the legs into Badda Konasana feet. So soles of the feet together, and then take your feet and open them up like a book. Inhale to sit up tall, and as you exhale, we'll begin to, again, extend forward, hinging from the hips. Any amount, doesn't matter how deep you get into the pose. And again, with an inhale, we'll lengthen, leading with the heart, drawing the shoulder blades down away from the ears and toward the front of the body and widening the collarbones. And as you exhale, maybe extend a little bit deeper. And then for a few more breaths, just round your head down. Now we'll let the back round slightly. Continuing nice steady breath as you move through this pose. Taking a few long breaths to hold it. And inhale to come up. And releasing. So turn and we'll come into a squat, into Malasana. So our knees will line up with the toes, knees over second toe, and press your palms together right into the center of your chest. And as you press the palms, you may press onto the knees a little bit as they open, and notice the length in the spine, and this should feel pretty good on your back. So as you're here, again, widen across the collarbones, draw the shoulder blades down away from the ears, and a few long breaths here. Anytime your back feels a little sore, this is a wonderful pose. And as you're here, feel free to do some Kegels. Those are always, always good to do when you're pregnant and when you're not anymore. So it's a nice way to keep the pelvic floor firm. And then we'll come into a forward fold from here, and I'm going to take the feet hips width apart. So in prenatal yoga, we always want to keep the feet hips width apart. So nice flat back, bend the knees as needed if you have any tension in the hamstrings. And then as you exhale, you're just going to fold forward, just dangling forward, little bend in the knees if that feels better on the hamstrings and the low back, and rocking side to side. And try to get your hips right above your heels if you can, so that the weight is equally distributed in the feet. Normally the weight wants to go toward the heels, so we can even it out. As you're rocking side to side, make sure there's no tension in the neck. So release the arms and lightly nod your head yes, lightly shake your head no. So any tension can be released. And then inhale back to a flat back. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, come back through center all the way up with a flat back. And we'll come to the front of the mat in Tadasana. So grounding down through the four corners of the feet, press into the big toes, base of the big toe, little toe, inner outer heel. Draw the tailbone down as you lift your frontal hip bones up. Widen the collarbones. Draw the shoulder blades down away from the ears. The crown of the head just right above, bones stacking on top. Inhale, the arms reach. And exhale, take the arms down by your sides. And again, inhale, reach up through the arms. As you reach up, allow your shoulder blades again to soften so your shoulders don't crunch up around the neck. Exhale, lower. Inhale, the arms circle out around and up. Shoulder blades soften. Exhale, arms down by your sides. Inhale, and reaching up. And exhale. This time we'll take the arms one more time back down, and inhale, just linking breath to movement. Reach up, spin the triceps in toward each other. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold into Uttansana. Inhale, your hands to shins, make a nice flat back. Exhale, and folding, step your right foot back and your left foot back, and then come into table. Table position, the knees are right underneath the hips, the wrists under the shoulders, moving through cat-cow. Inhale, bring the heart forward. Exhale, pressing down into the ground, round the upper back, chin toward chest. Again, inhale, widen the collarbones, bring your heart through the gates of your arms. And exhale, pressing, tuck and round, chin toward chest. Lift the belly just slightly. Inhale, just getting some movement in the spine. Try to make this arch more toward the upper back, less toward the lower back. And exhale, make your rounding back. And then inhale to a neutral spine, so you're not arching. Oh, one more arch, sorry. And exhale, tuck and round. And then next we'll come into a neutral spine. So you're not arching or rounding. And try to keep a nice flat back here. And on your next inhale, I'm going to reach the right leg straight back behind you. So as you lift it from the inner thigh and let your outer hip drop down. So you're lifting and keeping your pelvis neutral. Pulling the belly in, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Keep lifting a little bit away from the floor. And releasing. Now left side. So inhale, pick up your left leg, extend it back. If you point your toes straight to the floor, that kind of helps keep the pelvis neutral. But again, you're going to lift from your inner thigh and let your outer hip drop down. There's a tendency to want to lift the hip. So instead of lifting it, you're just going to keep the pelvis neutral. And releasing here. And then once again, we're going to go back to the right leg and inhale to extend the right leg back again with nice level hips. And this time we'll add the left arm to see if we can balance. And if the balance is challenging today, keep the left arm on the ground. If you are balancing, reaching through the leg, reaching through the arms, creating space and length through the torso. Lengthen out and release that. And we'll do the left side. So next, inhale, left leg back, point the toes to the ground. And extend your right arm forward, again, trying to keep the hips neutral. So as you lift that left leg up, you want to squeeze your right hip in toward the midline. Releasing. And into child's pose. Take your legs nice and wide in child's pose. And if it's not comfortable to rest your head all the way to the ground, you can make fists with your hands and rest your head on your hands. And if your hips don't come down, just keep them up. Just a few long breaths again to lengthen the spine. Keeping the hands just where they are, I'm going to come up onto the knees and tuck the toes and stretch back into down dog. And just start to bicycle your legs, bending one knee and then the other to warm up the hamstrings. So make sure that your arms are shoulder distance apart and your feet are hips distance apart. Make your way back into child's pose for a couple breaths. And keeping the arms extended in front of you. You can start to spin your triceps down toward the floor and spin your biceps up toward the ceiling so you can get a nice external rotation of the shoulder in its socket. And then come back up to the knees, tuck the toes again, down dog, and this time keep your knees bent. And then stretch the chest back toward the thighs and then begin to straighten the legs any amount. Gaze between the feet, the arms, and the ears in the same line. Keep extending the spine. Inhale back to knees. So plank pose, drop the knees down, shoulders just a little bit in front of the wrists for modified plank, and then back into downward facing dog. So if you want to hold full plank without the knees down, that's another option. From here, going to come back to hands and knees, bring the heart forward, just a little arch in the back, and then back into downward facing dog. So a little modified sun salutation. Take a couple breaths here in down dog. Look to the hands, the knees back down. And again, we'll bring the heart forward, shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, round the back and stretch all the way into downward facing dog again. Spread your fingers wide, root down into the base of the fingers as you lift up through the forearms. Inhale to the knees again. Bring the heart forward, shoulder blades back and down. And then exhale, tuck your toes all the way back into downward facing dog. Continuing the nice steady breath. Every movement has a breath. Look to the hands, take the knees down, and take a child's pose. Oops. Right foot forward, sorry. Right foot forward for lunge. So the knee and the ankle are lined up. My hands are on the inside of my right foot so that I have plenty of room for the belly. Still trying to keep the hips as level as I can. So pulling the right hip back and squeezing the left hip in. And then back to table. And the other side, if you can't quite get the foot up there alone, just use your hand to help it. Hands on the inside, inhale to lengthen. So exhale here, still a knee over the ankle, keeping the hips level. Nice long line from the crown of the head all the way to the back foot. And then we'll take it back to downward facing dog. So anytime if you want to take a rest, you can always take your knees down and rest in child's pose. Inhale back to your knees and then a child's pose. Coming back to table position, step the right foot forward again, like a knee over ankle, and then hands to the inside of the foot. Hands can stay there, or this time if you'd like to go a little deeper, you can reach the arms up, but as you reach the arms up, lengthen the tailbone down and lift the frontal hip bones up. And if it's a little much, take your hands to your knees, and that'll help to keep the low back nice and long. We don't want to overarch it here. Hands back to the mat and to table. And then inhale the left leg up. Give it some help if it doesn't quite make it. Sink your hips forward, knee and ankle in line. Option to reach up through the arms. So keep the belly lifted, the tailbone lengthening. There's a tendency to overarch here, and especially during pregnancy, we don't need any more overarching. So press the hands just above the knees for some more support. And then releasing here. Back to table. And tuck the toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. So stretching out the spine as much as you can in your down dogs. Don't worry about if the heels touch or not. And so look forward and step the feet up to the hands. Take as many steps as you need. Inhale, make a flat back, hands to shins. Exhale, fold forward, hips over heels. Inhale, circle the arms out, around, and up. Exhale to Samastitihi, steady balance. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge from your hips, fold, flat back. Inhale, create a flat back here. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step back into plank pose. Knees can be up or down in plank. It's a high push-up. Take the knees down here, lower down halfway, and then inhale for a little modified upward facing dog. And then exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. So in a full upward facing dog, the thighs and the knees are off of the mat, and it's a little bigger back bend. If it feels okay, you can do it, but if you feel any pulling in the belly, then don't do it. Look forward, step the feet all the way up. Inhale for a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root down through the feet, reach out, around, and up. Soften shoulders. Exhale to Samastitihi. Inhale again, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, plant your palms. Stepping back again to plank. Holding plank, high push-up or knees down. Shifting forward and lower down to Chaturanga. Elbows bending. And our elbows are going to stay straight this time. Knees down. And now a little bit of a up dog. And then back into downward facing dog. So you're welcome to hold plank anytime or take the knees down. If you know Chaturanga, shoulders no lower than the elbows. If you're going to lower, you could take that option. Look up and step the feet to the hands. Inhale, make a flat back, heart forward. Exhale, fold in, let your head just hang. Inhale, root down through the feet, reach all the way up, lengthen tailbone down. Exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do a little balance pose, tree pose. So take your right leg up, make sure you're grounding through the left leg. So the right ankle can be, or the right heel, can be at the ankle or the inside of the shin or the inside of the thigh, just anywhere but on the knee joint. And don't worry about pressing the knee back at all. Just try and keep your pelvis level. So you'll drop your right hip down as you squeeze your left hip in towards center, keeping a nice steady gazing point. Reach the arms up if you wish. Stretching through the arms. And then slowly release the arms and release your right leg. Ground through the right leg, and we'll pick up the left leg. Again, heel to inner ankle, or foot to shin, or foot to inner thigh, whichever is most comfortable. Keep a nice steady gazing point to help with your balance. If your balance is off today, you can always lean up against a wall as you take these poses. Inhale, reach up through the arms, soften the shoulder blades. And keep the front ribs drawing in toward the body as you lift up through the back ribs. Lengthen the tailbone down. Again, trying to minimize that big that big arch in the low back that we get when we are with child. I know I got it with both of my sons when I was pregnant. Release the arms down, exhale, and back to Samastitihi. We'll take a little turn to your right and step your feet out nice and wide. And turn the right leg all the way out. And your left toes in slightly, lined up front heel with back arch. And then inhale, bring the arms up to a T. And then as you exhale, bend your right knee over your ankle. So you can bend the knee as much as you like, but try and drop the right hip down. The weight in your front foot is toward the heel. The weight in the back foot toward the pinky toe side, but pressing the outer ankle in and up on the back leg. Inhale, reach up through the arms, straighten the front leg, soften the shoulder blades, and exhale, bend into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. And again, inhale. We'll take a couple breaths, widen the collarbone, soften the shoulder blades. Inhale again, arms up, straighten the front leg. Exhale, rebend in, maybe a little deeper this time, maybe not. See how you feel. Keep reaching through the arms, gazing over your fingertip. Inhale, arms reach, and exhale, take your arms down. Take the feet to parallel to the other side. Left leg turns all the way out, back toes in slightly. Inhale, arms to a T. Exhale, bend the knee over the ankle. Knee is over ankle and right in line with second toe. Soften the shoulder blades, widen the collarbones. Steady breathing in and out through the nose, or take a breath through the mouth if you feel at all heated. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the arms up. Exhale, bend in to Warrior 2. I'm going to try to drop your front hip down. So again, you're not overarching in the low back. As you press your back thigh back, your back inner thigh spins up toward the sky. Inhale, straighten the leg, and exhale, we'll rebend it again. So the inner back thigh lifting up toward the ceiling. That way you don't have any compression at the low back, and it's easier to keep the knee over the ankle. Inhale, arms reach, soften shoulders. Exhale, hands to sides. And then let's go back to the first side. Left leg out, right toes in slightly. Taking Trikonasana. So arms to a T. Shift your hips and lean forward. So keep reaching. When you can't possibly reach anymore, right hand to shin. Or if you have a block, you could take a block. Or if it reaches the floor, take it there. Left arm up. The arms are the same as in Warrior 2. So soften shoulder blades, widen collarbones. Looking toward the top hand unless it bothers your neck. And if that's the case, look forward or down. Keep lengthening out through the spine. If you feel wobbly in this pose as well, you could take it up against a wall. And I like to do it that way sometimes. And look down at the front foot on your inhale as if someone's lifting you out of that top arm. Come back to center. And then left leg out, right toes in. Shift your hips back as you lean forward over your front thigh. And when you can't lean out anymore, take the left hand to the shin or the floor, maybe the foot or a block. Right arm up. Shoulders in line. Press your weight into the left foot right at the base of the big toe, and then try to scoot your left hip right underneath you as your torso leans over your left leg. So as if you had a wall behind you that you could lightly rest up against. Continuing lengthening through the torso, lengthening the spine. Look down at your front foot and inhale all the way back. And take hands to hips, feet parallel, so outer edges of the feet parallel. You're going to fold forward with a nice flat back, fingertips to the ground. If they don't reach, you could put them on a block if you have one. And then we'll exhale, folding in for a moment. Inhale to a flat back. And again, exhale, folding in, hips right in line with the heels. Inhale, flat back. And keep the right arm down. Lift your left arm up and twist. And releasing. And we'll twist the other way. So this kind of twisting is fine during prenatal yoga. We just wouldn't want any twists that would compress the belly. These are called open twists, so they're totally fine. And then we'll heel toe the feet a little bit. Inhale, come up with a nice flat back. And back to the front of the mat, Samastitihi. Inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Nice flat back as you come down. Inhale, make a flat back, hard forward. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, stepping back. Downward facing dog. Arms, shoulder distance, feet, hips distance. And then coming onto the knees. And then all the way up to sit up on the knees for Ustrasana, camel pose. So a little back bend. Take your hands to your tops of your hips and start to press forward with your thighs as you lean back, opening, widening collarbones as if there's a string attached to the sternum and getting lifted to the sky. Inhale back up. So again, keep the tailbone long and a little lift in the low belly as you come into it again. And just go as much as what feels good for you. You don't have to take a big back bend here. Inhale, back up. If you want to go in a little deeper, tuck your toes under, press your hips down to lengthen the low back, maybe reach for the heels. And if you have the heels, press your thighs forward again and widen your collarbones. So your legs, there's just a teeny internal rotation of the thighs like you were squeezing a block here between your legs. And you can just let the head go to any amount. Squeeze your legs together as you come up or toward each other as you come up. And then into a child's pose. Knees can be nice and wide in your child's pose. Steady ujjayi breathing, or just a steady inhale and exhale. And we'll inhale to come up onto the knees. Shift your hips off to one side and extend your legs forward. Take Janu Sirasana. So bend your right knee and right sole of the foot to the inner left thigh. Pull the left toes back. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hinge from your hips and come forward. If your belly is there, you can just keep your belly right toward the center so it doesn't get compressed by your left leg. Keep as much length through the spine as you can. There's a tendency to round the upper back here, and we don't really need any rounding in our upper back. We do that a lot, typing and driving. Inhale, head up. And exhale to release. Lift your right knee and bend the left knee in. Pull the right toes back. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale. Hinge from the hips and lengthen forward. So as you inhale, lead with the heart, get nice and long. And as you exhale, extend forward. So if you're pretty flexible and you're down low, you can keep your gaze at your shin. If you're up a little higher, look at your toes. And your neck is just in line with the rest of your spine. And then inhale your head up and exhale to release the foot. And if you can't reach the foot, just hold the ankle. Inhale both arms up and exhale, hinge from the hips and fold. So my legs here are hips width apart, so I have space for the belly. As you inhale to lengthen again and exhale to extend forward any amount. If you keep your toes pulling back toward you, that'll keep your legs nice and active. Inhale, head up. Exhale and release. So we're going to bend the right knee and make it parallel with the front of the mat. And then put your left shin on top of the right shin. If your left knee is up in the air, if it doesn't come down, it's fine. If it's uncomfortable for you, that's when you'll extend the right leg forward. It's called double pigeon. Inhale to lengthen. And then as you exhale, you can stay sitting upright, or if you'd like to extend forward, take a little stretch in the hips. This is a nice hip opener. Keep the feet flexed though. As you keep your feet flexed, the toes pulling back, then you'll keep your knees safe. So inhale to come up and switch. So right leg on the bottom, left leg on top, I think, or just do the other one. So again, if the knee's up, it's fine. If it's uncomfortable, extend the bottom leg out and just keep that knee above, or that ankle above the knee. Line up your shins if you can. Sit up tall on your inhale. If this is enough of a stretch, just stay. If you want more, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Lengthening out the spine and stretching your hips. Keep the feet flexed again to protect the knees. And inhale the head up and walk yourself back up to center. And we'll move into our final resting pose. So in prenatal yoga, we want to lie on our left side. That gives the most circulation for the baby. If you have a pillow or something to put between the knees, that's most comfortable. If you have another pillow or a blanket to put underneath your head, that feels really nice too. And maybe if you're here for a moment, you can take your hand to your belly and just connecting in with the life that is within you at the moment. And just enjoying that connection. And while you're here, just nice, natural breathing. You don't need to focus on your breath, just let your breath breathe you. Now, if you feel well rested, begin to make some movements, your hands and your feet, and slowly pressing yourself back up to seated. Sitting up nice and tall. And I want to thank you, mamas, for practicing some yoga today. It's wonderful for your body. It's a wonderful connection for you and your baby. And I wish you a wonderful journey. The light in me recognizes, honors, and salutes the light in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.